Welcome to Brand Bites, the podcast that brings you bite sized insights into groundbreaking innovations and the latest gadgets. I'm your host, Tom, and our main topics today are going to be that Musk's Twitter is now a paid platform. We're going to give you a Cybertruck update, and Neuralink is looking for surgical partners. Jumping straight into our first topic, Elon Musk, paid social media platform. The For You page, if you want to be on that page, you will now have to pay for that verified account to be able to be recommended there. Also, with that said, at the beginning of April, Twitter has said they're going to start dismantling the legacy verified system. So if you had a blue check mark before Elon bought the platform and you're not paying now, expect that to disappear. Believe on April 1st, which hopefully isn't an April Fool's joke, but that's what's said to be happening. Now, you also have to be verified to vote in polls, as well as this is the only way that Musk says you'll be able to fight bots on Twitter, which is fascinating because I don't think it's the only way. Is it a good way? Probably. And how good will it really be? And I don't know. He's turning the entire platform into a paid platform in order to fight bots. I don't fully believe that that's the only reason. I mean, it's definitely a reason to do it, but is it the full reason to do it? Probably not. There's good money to be made there. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. He bought the damn thing. He can do what he wants with it. He also said that he would open source the company's algorithm, the recommendation algorithm, I believe, by March 5th, which has obviously not happened yet. He's talked about it a few more times about doing it soon at some point, but some point hasn't happened. On that same note, at $8 a month, this is actually like a fairly expensive way to do things. I mean, $8 a month for a lot of people is not. I mean, that's a Netflix subscription. You get arguably more content, more better content, safer content. I don't know if I don't know if people are going to be willing to pay this tax to vote in polls or be in the For You page. Obviously, if you're a business or you're trying to start something and you want people to see and find you, this is kind of like paying for advertising now, I guess, because you'll be in the For You recommendations. But I don't. At $8, it's a lot. But I don't know. I don't know how low you can bring it before it's too cheap and it's cheap enough where doing bots is easy to do. I think that's probably why they settled on $8 in the first place, as it's not quite 10. Like, why wouldn't you just go to 10 at that point? So I think that's probably why they settled on 8. But it just doesn't seem like it's worth it. I mean, I don't see why you would pay for it. Why wouldn't you just go somewhere else for your information? Cybertruck, however, is looking pretty snazzy. There is a video of it actually whipping around and having a grand old time here. So, turning radius apparently will be better, and this is due to the real rear wheel drive that the vehicle has. And with that, it's pretty sick. Let's try and get this video to play here. Okay. I mean, as you can see, the rear wheels don't turn too sharp, but they turn nonetheless. This clip just doesn't want to play, which is sick. Okay, it's playing now. We're just skipping ahead. But as you can see right here, as they round this last corner, the dude yanks the steering wheel back and forth pretty rapidly, and the thing is stuck. It is not slipping. It slips a tiny bit at the end there, I guess, but not too much. Pretty agile little vehicle, and the turn radius is pretty damn sharp. But as you can see, I mean, this whipping back and forth they do here is pretty impressive. I mean, for a vehicle to hold it, this thing still looks like a terrifying monster on the street, but it's cool to see it out there and being tested, and it's looking pretty damn good. With that, we've seen rumors of having a dual wiper, of having a single wiper, and it's had it's had both, I guess. They've been trialing both. It looks like I probably think we're gonna just see the single wipers. One big wiper, well, great, just doesn't seem as effective, I guess. May I say that? Maybe. I don't know. With that, Musk has also claimed that this will be able to go through small rivers and streams and I don't know how you're supposed to control it when you do that, but supposedly to be able to do that. And they've claimed towing near infinite mass, which, if you've ever seen the Ford F-150 video of the Ford towing like a million freight cars, there's it's not that impressive. My question here really is rear wheel steering going to become more mainstream? We've seen it on quite a few electric vehicles. I'm trying to think if Chevy had one that did it, and Rivian, I believe, does it a tiny bit. Maybe I'm wrong on that. And I think there's one other one, but we're starting to see it a little more. I don't know if this is just because of the efficiency of motors and being able to do four independent controlled motors, so you can actually individually adjust the speed of wheels pretty easily to make that radius easier and more efficient on the car. But if cars can start turning sharper, I mean, if you're on a back road, turn around 180, you know, having sharp turning radius can be pretty nice, especially on a bigger vehicle like a Cybertruck for parking in small spaces, even just pulling into lots where the lanes aren't very wide. Being able to have that sharper radius to make things happen is actually a big deal. So it's cool to see it happening. I wonder how how long will these innovations like this last? Like if you get a car that has this rear wheel steering, will it break easily? Are you gonna have to get it like what's the lifespan on something like that really look like? We'll have to wait and see. SpaceX might have a new competitor. There's kind of a catch here, but they might have a new competitor actually. Rocket Lab is possibly going to be right up there with SpaceX. They're charging around 50 million for a flight on the Neutron rocket, which is basically direct competition with this Falcon 9, which I believe they're charging like 67 million per flight. The main massive difference here in this rocket is that the Falcon 9 can carry just less than double. It's 3,000 pounds less. The Falcon 9 can carry about 50,000 pounds, and this rocket can carry 28,000. So for the extra 17 million, I mean, that's a lot of extra space to launch your stuff with. You know, but it's a competitor at least. At least we're seeing other people enter this sphere. With the Neutron, which is the name of the rocket, they are 3D printing actually a fairly amount of parts and flying it with that. We'll see how well it does. They're just starting to do their test flights. And if you're wondering just some of the specs of this rocket, diameter about 7 meters, fairing diameter is about 5, height is about 131 feet or 40 meters, and it's pretty cool. Uses methane to fly, just kind of like most rockets do. But Musk is aiming for around $1 million per launch of Starship, which is a much bigger ship than everything else mentioned here. And if it ever gets down there, that'll be cool. I mean, we do have other people trying to enter this space, like Virgin Orbit, but it kind of seemed like they just paused all their operations and maybe calling it a day. So competition that way might be disappearing, but it's cool to see that we have other people doing it with different manufacturing techniques like 3D printing. And hopefully they'll keep doing. I believe they actually streamed their rocket launch. I hope more companies keep doing that. It'll just be cool to watch and see how these companies are learning and see what happens. So that'll be that. We'll have to wait and see what's going on with those. Just like Lucid Motors will randomly shut off on you. Not don't worry if you have one, it probably isn't you, but around 640 Air EVs from Lucid are having their motors randomly shut off. This is caused due to random power loss caused by the contactors on the wheels themselves and will cause power loss to the motors, which will cause you to no longer have control of your vehicle, which you might want. That said, you can bring it to Lucid service centers. They will update the software and replace the switches if necessary, free of charge. And they won't be mailing letters to customers until the 21st of April, which is like a month away, which I thought was interesting because there's articles about your problem now. Why are we waiting to ship these out? And I don't know. They're just Rivian, they're Lucid's doing Lucid, I guess. So many of these new EV companies have had these recalls, whether they're big deals or just like little 6%. And I think what we're just seeing here is growing pains of new automakers that are doing things differently. And especially in the world of EVs, where no one's made a ton of EVs other than Tesla, there's a massive learning curve going on here. But at least they're doing the recall. They had one vehicle come in March 2022, and that's when this investigation started. A year later, they're actually implementing this, which is that, like, why is it take? I don't understand why it takes so long. It feels like maybe you'd get ahead and then walk back, or I don't know if these contactors are that expensive. I would think probably not too bad. Can you not just do it, especially if it's only 6% of your vehicles? Just seems like maybe you waited a little too long, and it's weird that you're waiting another month to send out the email. But articles are out now, so maybe you can go do it now. I'm not really sure. You'll have to look into that yourself. Unlike Neuralink, who cannot currently do human trials, they are looking for partners, though. If you're a surgical partner looking to do something with Neuralink, like implant their brain chips, they're looking for you. So the FDA denied their first attempt to do human trials last year. They still do not have approval for trials. I believe they just tried again recently and also didn't get approved. And that was due to the batteries. They are worried about the batteries in the tech. What happens if they go wrong? Is charging safe? Is the battery safe in the head? They want more testing done on that. With that, Arizona's Treatment and Research Center has stated that they would like to work with Elon on this and move towards putting these chips in people's heads. These chips, controversial or not, if you don't like Elon, if you like Elon, if you just want to learn more, if you don't think the idea of putting computers in your head is a good idea, these chips have the potential to, whether you like it or not, change how we do medical stuff. Things like being paralyzed from the waist down. You have a chip in your brain, reads the signal, sends it to the fake legs, makes you walk. That's just one of the potentials of this chip. There's plenty of other things they think they're going to be able to cure with brain diseases like Alzheimer's, stuff like that. There's just going to be a lot of stuff that can happen here, and it's cool technology that'll hopefully get here soon. Hopefully they can start doing human trials soon and see if this really does work to the full extent that it's supposed to. I mean, I think this is super cool, and they're probably talking to many other institutions about this as well. But this is tech that can actually change the medical industry and do it very effectively and quickly. The real question is how long till they're actually able to get approved for human trials? Will the FDA ever allow them to do human trials? It's just a massive. We're gonna have to wait and see. It just it's just it's wild tech that's going on right now in the world. We haven't talked, however, about AIs yet today, which I am a fan of talking about this because I'm not sure if we're about to change the world way more than the internet did or if we're going to destroy the world way more than the internet did. And we're just waiting to see because who knows with ChatGPT, with these other AI models, with Dolly, with all these other AI companies, with Google doing Bard and whatever Microsoft's got going on under the hood, things are changing. And Levi is not going to miss out on that. This is quote unquote to increase diversity, is what Levi said, but they will be using AI generated models to show off clothing now. So if you've ever, I've not shopped on their site ever, but I did look just to see, and most of their clothing items can currently only be viewed on a singular model. They have one model for all of it, and that is it. So if you are not the same shape as said model, you don't really know what that will really look like. Now, they are partnering with La La Land AI, which I had never ever heard of until now, but they are a digital fashion studio that creates realistic AI generated fashion models. And with that, they are going to start creating more and more more and more models for you to look at for online shopping. And there's no comment yet on can you customize the models? Can you do it on every product? Like, how is this going to work? No comments other than they're doing it. That's pretty much all they told us. I think the truth here is it's way cheaper to pay like a monthly subscription that allows everybody to see stuff than it is to go hire the models for everybody to see the stuff. And so they said this won't replace human modeling, but will it really? Also, is this going to be an effective way to model it accurately? Because even with normal models that look way unlike normal human beings, can an AI replicate that well enough, or will they let you change the AI to replicate yourself well enough? How will you know for sure it'll look how you want it to look on you? I mean, will this even be an effective way to sell clothing? Will people care enough to go through and do this and be like, that AI, that one sold me. I changed, I dragged the fat slider all the way over. It matches me. I think that'll look good on me. I'm gonna buy it. Will this help that that kind of clothing sell? Like, there's a lot of questions here, but it's another area where AI models are just going into. I mean, it feels like only a few months ago we went from we knew AI was coming, we knew it was going to happen, to hey, AI in Bing, hey, AI here, AI here, AI here, AI for modeling. I mean, how many things are going to change so quickly here as this stuff happens? I mean, coding's changing, modeling's changing, car driving. I mean, just everything is changing all at once, and it's learning so fast. Just wild paced tech. With that, thanks for watching today's episodes of Brand Bites. I'd love to hear your bits and bites down below and leave a comment on your opinions, your thoughts. Do you think this AI model is going to make you want to buy the clothing more, or are you going to just be existing like most of us? With that said, subscribe for more tech bites, and for now, disconnecting from the simulation. I'll talk to you guys in the next